branches all over the place, all across the province. Let's get them involved. They probably haven't heard of robotics. Let's get them involved in helping with mentors and helping with space. I think it's doable, and I don't know how to get the word out there more.
That would be something we can work on this summer. We have a new participant in the corner here. Maybe you could have an introduction.
My name is Felix. I'm a mentor and alum of the team 792 Market Fibers.
Yay, Market. Yes, welcome Felix. We are generally contributing to a community building discussion. It's called Building Vibrant Communities. That involves communities surrounding build spaces and teams and connections between local community teams and school teams and all community building aspects. And we've really centered on build space a lot in our discussion, as that is an ongoing issue for many of the teams. So if you have any comments, questions, or things that you're learning, we'd love to hear from you.
Well, I'm just here to listen.
Excellent.
Not much to say right now.
Okay.
Do you have a build space? Are you in the school?
We're a community team, but we do have a build space. We're partnering with Covalence Markham, so we pretty much work out of their space like after hours, usually later with it.
That's
Are you
you
saying
guys.
8
Yeah.
to same team with us?
Yeah.
I think you're around to equal.
Yeah, so we are in the school. We do have a classroom, my classroom I'm using it for. We also have a wood shop that we use for build. Although we have some issues sometimes with teachers, who was using the plans or that thing. So lately we started having issues to think about locking down specific tools, so we cannot use it. But the issue is not related to robotics, it's just getting new teachers, having other teachers coming down to the wood shop to do their own specific, I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
projects, and you know, they never asked us. We had a business tech shared ACL who didn't care about the tech. Before that, Dean Gumby was, then he knew what he was doing, but when I got there, business took over, so that was an issue. But we have basically a build space, but when it comes to practice field, we started with the Robodrome in Hamilton here, which is a cool place. But we never got to the practice field. We practice on the competition day, that's the problem. So we need more mentorship to, not to redesign the robot all the time, just to start practicing. So,
Sorry, where are you guys located?
it's Etobicoke, Martin Grove Collegiate. It's Martin Grove with Eglinton.
Oh, okay. How close are you to Rick Hansen?
Sorry?
Rick Hansen and the society. That's probably
Yeah.
because they can.
Which team is that?
Team 124136 and formerly Biggest Birds 1285.
So I'm trying to figure out how far are you from, do you know Young Shepherd?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Shepherd is far. It's past the
So I
four.
want to say
Well,
it's like.
it's close to Richmond.
That's the QW.
We could, depending on the timing, yeah.
No, I because that's like a. You want to hit
Yeah,
anywhere.
we would be
in
happy to
town.
go for a hug and have our robot inspected from time to time and have the kids.
And have you connected with Team 1325? It's your closest one.
1325.
What's their, where are they, which schools?
They're right by the airport, and that's the one with the infinite warehouse, which.
Oh, try that.
That's
I think we went to a practice field,
Yeah,
that's it.
inverse paradox. And
Yeah,
they
we
are
only went to
networked
their
really
practice
well.
field, that's it.
But now in terms of finding mentors, and this is a problem that we've seen throughout the province, a few cases in point about that. Team 6632, as much as they're in currently, they always have an issue with having teachers in the school to support. And what happened 2 summers ago, we invited, they reached out to us and said, we need some mentors. And we invited them to participate in our summer mentor sessions. And then they asked the question, well, can we bring some students? And I said, well, why not? And so they did. They brought a new teacher, about 4 parents, and about 4 students, and they spent the 3 days with us. They were the team that got us to move from 2 to 3 days. After that, they had several committed parent mentors, and a new teacher mentor, and they've had one in each of the last few years, and they've been able to continue in their school as the parents and the students are entering the school year with a vision of what the robotics team needs and what it's doing. They're committed to the vision at first. We talked about gracious professionalism, and it's not just building robots, it's building human beings. And that was a really great example of a team being able to sustain as a result of the participation. So one question that comes to mind, sometimes parents are not necessarily the technical mentors, but they are the cheerleaders of the team, and they are able to rally each other around and find the technical mentors. And so one thing that can happen, they can be invited to spaces like this, and that's why we have the Summer Institute. It's in Scarborough this year, it was in Brampton last year. It's not necessarily supposed to be any place, but we have 3 days in August in Scarborough, and any parent or teacher or a mentor from the team would be welcome to participate. We build the community and show the vision, and then we do networking right from there, and people make calls right from the, it's a time to focus and brainstorm, network, and then generate the team. We also had Team 10167 over the last 3 years, has had similar participation of parents and mentors. Team 7712 has participated every single year. Each year they get more, now they have a problem, they have too many students, and they need to do something similar to many of the other teams, like what are we doing with these 70 students now?
Get a bigger bus.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are some of the things, that's the reason that we have these institute kind of gatherings in Windsor, London, Ottawa, and Toronto this year. We're trying to envision a time and place where Ontario could have sort of a mechanism to generate the human resources and the community required to sustain the teams, to coordinate all of the finances, to share the mentors like is happening with small groups of schools, to work harmoniously with the school boards and all of that. I think another effort that really goes along that line, the notion of the not-for-profit. Some of you have heard these stories already. I'm apologizing to Thomas, I've heard that. That we started the collaboratory, this not-for-profit, inspired by WW First, Garden City Robotics, which is 1114, and several of the other not-for-profit organizations that support the teams, so that we could find ways, say for example, in a given school board, a teacher is only limited to an hour and a half a week because of various constraints. Well, after the STEM time is done, the team is done officially from the school point of view, then the students can be part of a not-for-profit with the proper insurance and the proper adult supervision to continue their activities after school hours. In the case of 1114, in their very own build space. In the case of other schools, sometimes they just go down the road to another place. Like at WW First, you go down the road for your practice field. Yep. It could be that you go down the road to a community center like NACI is running and have all kinds of machines and support and mentors there. So those are some of the models we're looking at. I don't want to miss Thomas, as Thomas also has some very good contributions to make to this discussion.
Of course. Yeah. So I think over the years we've had a lot of really good perspectives on how to build different communities. It's clear to me that each city requires a different thing. And when we look at Etobicoke, it's been closely with the GTA. Like you said, there's hubs nearby. It's just a matter of communication and getting the staff member involved, right? That's the hardest part. And we're seeing a generational changeover between the old guard, the Gen X and millennial crowd who are the tech teachers, and Gen Z entering the teaching world. As one of the first Gen Z being hired here, it was a weird cultural shift. Everyone was talking about like their kids being in high school, and I'm like, yeah, man, that's crazy.
That was me last year.
Yeah, so we're going through like a generational shift, and it's difficult to navigate unless we all connect together. So we need to find ways to continue this connective tissue between the cities, because WW First is a good example. The First, We Mars Incubator was a great example in London. What fills that power vacuum in London? Perhaps it's the laboratory. What fills that vacuum here in Hampton? Well, it's surely bound to be the Robodrome between Makeshift and Celtex. They do a great job with Tampa. But these are just 3 of the cities that we've got here today. We've got 28 cities represented in this conference. So we need to think big picture. How do we connect those dots on the map? How do we make sure that everyone has equitable access to build spaces? And we are, in the last couple of minutes of this, so I'm going to try and be brief. A great presentation on how to find mentors is right here in 10 minutes. Owen is talking about whether you should or should not be a mentor as an alum. It's a great perspective. And I think that we can actually tap into the existing combat robotics community, as they are all 18 plus, technically competent, nice people to work with. I haven't met a bad one in the bunch, and a few of their representatives are here today. So hopefully we can bridge those gaps of knowledge. We can have non-technical supervisor roles in schools, meeting the ministry requirement of supervision, and we can link them with either community members who are already involved in FIRST, or community members who are code ninjas or combat roboticists. I think that there's many different solutions to be found, and that can only be found through one-on-one connection at places like this.
One little final detail, another element we're exploring right now, how to offer credits to all these students who offer hundreds of hours. I want to start that this year. There's a lot of demand for it, and I'm getting people asking me about it, and there's nothing stopping us from doing it. So if anyone is interested in that, we can have it. This school could offer those credits.
Is that an IDC credit? Do you know what the course
It could be
is?
any credit, computer science,
Oh,
computer
great.
engineering technology, calculus, data management, entrepreneurship, manufacturing. That's a whole other discussion, I'm just throwing that out there, if
You
anyone
can
is
get the
interested.
first
in
year
it.
taken care
Count me in.
of. Can I
Okay.
offer 6 of them at once?
Sure, you could, as long as we can document it
Alright, so,
with the ministry, and we know how to do that.
40 hours.
As private school people, we know how to make the ministry happen.
Oh, yeah.
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 So much more to learn. I really appreciate the time with everyone today, and it's really amazing. I only used one slide, I'm very.
Can we see the rest
That's,
of them?
pardon?
Can we see the rest of them?
Yeah, we could do it.
Click, 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 click.